the edict here in California that effective 2035, no more sales of new gasoline-powered vehicles. And the Secretary of Transportation, Mayor Pete, was asked, isn't this a good guideline for the entire country?
As the transportation secretary, also we move from the planes to now the cars. Here in California, recently announced that by 2035, all vehicles that are new, that are sold, have to be electric vehicles or can't be gas-powered vehicles. What do you think about that? And is that something that could be a national model?
Well, it's interesting to see how the states are trying to go above and beyond what we're doing at the federal level. And I'm really interested to follow these developments while we continue to set a national policy that's the baseline for all of this. We need to move in the direction of electric vehicles. And look, industry's already there. At least one major automaker says they're not even planning to make gas cars past 2035.
So in other words, yes, if he could rule the world by a date certain, everybody in America could no longer buy a new gasoline-powered vehicle. And we've talked about this before. They're not even that good for the environment. They're expensive. They have to be disposed of. The rare earth material, lithium, used to make it means third world labor in places like the Congo are going to be employed. And days after this edict in California was announced, there was a energy alert announced urging owners of EVs not to charge them up during peak hours. Now, out of the 30 million vehicles in the state of California where I am, 1.9% are EVs. Imagine when millions more are EVs when already the limited number of EVs are already taxing the state's energy grid. It's madness. Absolute, total madness. And you want to talk about semi-fascism? When a governor tells you you can't buy a brand new gasoline-powered car even though you want one? When a governor is telling you as a manufacturer of cars, don't bother manufacturing gas-powered vehicles because I'm not going to allow you to sell them in my state? Socialism is when the government owns means of productions. Fascism is when the government allows you to own the means of production, but just tells you what and how to produce. Now, I want you to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, put on our mailing list so that you will not miss a video. Believe it or not, for whatever reason, I don't know why, many of our videos are banned by YouTube. You will not miss a video if you are on our mailing list. Speaking of Gavin Newsom, he has signed a new social media bill into law. It's AB 587. Get this, requires social media companies to publicly post their policies regarding hate speech, disinformation, harassment, and extremism on their platforms, and to report data on the enforcement of their policies. The bill was introduced by Democrats, of course, co-authored by Democrats because Democrats run this state. Democrats enjoy supermajorities in both chambers of our legislature, the Senate and the Assembly. And Newsom said this, and I'm quoting, "California will not stand by as social media is weaponized to spread hate and disinformation." Does he mean weaponized to suppress stories like the Hunter Biden laptop story that the New York Post put out and couldn't even repost it on Twitter because their account was shut down? Does he mean that kind of stuff? Does he mean how Donald Trump has been banned from Instagram, from Twitter, from Facebook? And that's why Donald Trump has now done Truth Social. Did he mean that? No. He's talking about conservative speech, conservative content. Anybody questioning elections, anybody questioning the COVID response. So I thought maybe if I had been governor, I could be equally dictatorial. How about something like this? How about I sign a bill that says no more than 50% of the political contributions by professors could be to Democrats. I saw a study that found 90% of Ivy League professors who gave money to politics gave them to Democrats or left-wing causes. So we'll have a bill that says we're going to cap that at 50%. I saw a report that found the numbers of Democrat reporters versus Republican reporters in the White House press corps. Democrats outnumber Republicans 12-1. So how about I issue a bill that says the percentage of reporters who are Democrats and Republicans covering the White House have to be equal. I saw a study that found of the commencement speakers at the top 100 colleges in America, only a tiny percentage of them were conservatives. The overwhelming majority of those who were political speakers, many of the speakers were not political at all, but those who were political speakers, overwhelmingly were Democrats. So how about I sign a bill that says of the top 100 colleges who invite political speakers, half have to be leftists and half have to be conservatives. What about newspaper editorial boards? You can go on YouTube and watch a very contentious interview with the LA Times and me when I was running for governor. And I spent the first several minutes asking them about my being called the blackface of white supremacy. I assure you, none of the members of the LA Times editorial board was a conservative. So how about I pass a law, sign it, that says the ideological makeup of the editorial boards of newspapers must be equal to the percentage of independents, Democrats, and Republicans that are in America. In other words, the editorial boards must look like America. Can I get some amen for that? What about Hollywood movies? Many of the villains are conservatives. How about I sign a bill out here in California that tells Hollywood, if you have a villain who has a particular political point of view, half of your villains must be liberals, half of them must be conservatives. What about K through 12 public school teachers? Half of them must be conservative, half of them must be liberal. What about Twitter accounts on Facebook, on Instagram, on IG? Make sure that no more than 50% of them are left-wing. These are just some of the ideas that Gavin Newsom has inspired me to consider in the event that I become governor of California someday, or maybe president someday. Who knows? But first, guess what I have in my baby brown libertarian fingers? A My Pillow pillow. Do you have one? I don't mean do you have baby brown libertarian fingers, black fingers, but do you have a My Pillow? If not, look at this number on your screen. Call it. Or go to mypillow.com and use promo code ELDER. And it's not just pillows, by the way, which come in all different sizes. They've also got towels. And these are towels that actually absorb. They work. Oh, they look good. Oh, they come in different colors. But they're actually absorbent. Isn't that the whole point of a towel, to be absorbent? Well, they are. And then you have the Giza Dream bed sheets. Finest cotton in the world. And if you go to mypillow.com, use promo code ELDER, you're going to find over 100 My Pillow products. So please, do yourself a favor. Get a good night's sleep. Get you a My Pillow. Go to mypillow.com, promo code ELDER, or call the number on your screen. You will not regret it. And speaking of Twitter, senior engineer admitting in a Project Veritas undercover video that Twitter does not believe in free speech.
Do you think there's a difference between Twitter's definition of free speech and Elon's definition of free speech?
Twitter does not believe in free speech. Elon believes in free speech.
What do your colleagues say about it?
They hate it. Some of my colleagues are like super left. You know, our jobs are at stake. He's a capitalist. If we weren't really operating like capitalists more, we were like very socialist. Like we're all like communist. I basically went to work like 4 hours a week last quarter. That's just how it works in our company. But Twitter is like mental health is everything. Like if you're not feeling it, you can take a few days off. People have taken months off.
And I don't know if the two parties can truly coexist on one platform.
I don't know that the two parties can coexist on what platform.
So do you think there's a difference between Twitter's definition of free speech and Elon's definition of free speech?
Twitter does not believe in free speech.
What do you
Elon
mean?
believes in free speech.
Twitter does not believe in free speech, he says. Now, a feminist who's been canceled by Twitter is seeking to revive her lawsuit, citing new evidence of collusion with the feds. Her name is Naomi Wolf. She's filed a motion last month with a judge to dismiss the suit because of all the documents through Freedom of Information, noting that the collusion between the social media platforms and the government. The documents, they argue, show, quote, how the executive branch of our federal government worked with Twitter to silence me for asking questions about COVID-19 vaccines. Nobody should be retaliated against for exercising her First Amendment rights, end of quote. Now, the defense has always been that Twitter and the other outlets like this are privately owned. But when the government comes to you and tells you to suppress an account, then that privately owned entity becomes a state actor, and they can't hide behind the First Amendment. That's the argument Naomi Wolf is making. We'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to the results of that lawsuit. I'm Larry Elder. This has been the Larry Elder Show for Epoch Times, and we've got a country to save. Hope you enjoyed that video. The full show is available to watch right now on Epoch TV. Just click the link in the description below to learn more, because we've got a country to save.